and fucking clap. Oh, Jesus. We need a clapboard. That'd be more fun. That way we can clap it, and then people can see the start of the podcast as me moving it to the side.
Like the clapboard that we use for our logo.
Oh, yeah, it is a clapboard, isn't it?
Welcome to Hour of Sour, episode 15, I believe.
Good thing you're keeping
Just
track.
put that on the YouTube.
I believe. Put it in
15,
brackets. I believe. So we should talk about the elephant in the room.
The elephant that's not... Well, he wasn't really an elephant. How much do you want to say? Like,
so
let's be safe. Let's be careful.
I wouldn't say... Everybody's might be noticing. Anybody that watches...
Will die.
Okay, let's say that. That's the fucking nice way to do it. But yeah, everybody might be noticing that Will's not here. And we had a big discussion where Will's tastes and our tastes, we don't think they kind of gelled together. And for me...
Not about movies.
Yeah, not about movies.
Well, kind of, but...
But for me, it really started with like the Golden Globes episode. And let me preface this by saying Will is a great guy. We don't wish any ill will towards Will. Everybody should keep following Will. Follow Will because he's got a lot of fucking cool shit that he talks about.
Filmgamer.com.
Filmgamer.com, that's right. But it was like with the Golden Globes episode and with other episodes like West Side Story and Uncharted, I felt like if anybody is watching our videos, and if anybody, eventually one day when we're all locked inside due to the 15th variant, 26. And you're just like, fuck, I'm going to the bowels of YouTube now.
Yeah.
Anyone that was watching our show for Will's content, I felt like they'd be looking for me because I'm very selfish and I was just thinking about me, and they'd be like, "What the fuck is that guy doing there? He has nothing to add to anything. He just sits there like a fucking bump on a log." And then anybody who would be watching it to listen to me might be looking at Will and saying, "What the fuck is that guy talking about? I don't care about any of that." So to me, the reason I raised my concern about it was I felt like if people are coming to our show, they're either going to like Will's stuff or like my stuff, and I don't think those two are ever going to gel. So I brought that up, and we all kind of felt similar. I can't say with certainty how Will or how Phil feels about it, but I just don't think we were the right fit for each other. But like I said, Will is a cool guy. Phil's not. Phil's an asshole. Will's a cool guy. Definitely check out his stuff at filmgamer.com. He does a lot of cool reviews on there. He does a lot of cool breakdowns of stuff on there. I know he's doing stuff for Joe Blow.
Things.
Yep. And so, definitely. That's why Will's not here. And we're sorry to see Will go, but we knew that we had to do it for our one audience member out there.
Yeah, that one audience member complained.
Watch it be Will.
Oh, no.
Now we're really fucked.
Why would Will want to get rid of Will?
That was the other thing I was going to bring up. So, because we have an hour in the Hour of Sour to talk about this, I had a friend of mine. He sent me a picture of something on Instagram. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And he says, something about you, either you should mention on your podcast or I've been listening to the podcast. It's really funny. I'm like, what podcast?
Someone?
Right? A guy I knew from Brampton. His name's Dale. So, Dale, if you're listening, a big shout out to Dale.
He said my name.
Right? He's going to get a shirt just of watch and complain.
No,
but it was.
No, I'm not doing that. You can pay for it.
You'll pay for it.
You just send them yours.
Where'd
your shirt go,
Don't
Rob?
mind the grease stains and pizza stains all over the front of it. But yeah, so that was cool that Dale said that he still listened to us. So shout out to Dale. Keep on listening, unless he was listening to it for Will, in which case he's not going to listen anymore.
Yeah. On that note, not the Will note, but people actually listening,
no one listens
watching
or watches.
You know that convenience store that I mentioned that I got some products from? Okay, that's great. All in one convenience, just around the block there. It's right next to Red Lobster.
Oh, yeah, okay, I know what that is.
I know Red Lobster.
When you mention food, I know where the food is.
You know where the Quickie was there?
What's a Quickie?
Like a convenience store that was right next to Red Lobster.
There's a different Quickie. I was getting next to Red Lobster.
Do you know the pizza place?
It's where I got the crabs.
You know the pizza place? Double or whatever it was called?
Isn't there in the front, there's a pizza place and there's like
a paint store?
A lady that blows glass, like one of those glass blower people?
No, it's a hair studio now. But there's also all-in-one convenience.
Beside the fucking Red Lobster.
Yes.
How many? Why bring up all the other shit?
Anyway,
you already told me where it is when you said beside the Red Lobster.
We're almost out of time. The one of the employees that worked there
Red Lobster.
and all-in-one convenience.
Oh.
I walked in and they go,
They
"Oh,
quit and they went to Red Lobster.
are you the guy that did the tour of our store?" Because I was all in my mask and my hat and
You shouldn't be touring people's stores.
my tutu.
That's why they didn't come near you.
No,
You're that guy.
they were happy. They've actually had a lot of customers come in and say, "Oh, I watched that episode and I wanted to come in and see the store."
Was it on canyoutasteit.com?
Yeah.
I don't believe you. Bring it up.
Anyway, he actually watches. He wanted us to do what's that? Crying with Wolves or
Don't say he wanted us to do the KD stuff. You should have told me before.
He was like, "Here's craft dinner."
like, this is amazing.
They're the ones who gave me a free energy drink just for doing the tour.
Maybe they probably gave it to
they
you.
didn't
They're
do
like,
it to do
get
it.
him the fuck out of
Yeah,
here
yeah.
faster. Give him an energy drink. He'll run.
this
Or
giant-
he'll have terrible diarrhea, and he's got to run over to the Red Lobster to
First
have
of
it.
all, you see a huge guy come into your snack store, you want
Oh
him
man,
there.
I thought that was going to go much different. You see a huge guy come into your snat is all I heard. I'm like, what? Where is this conversation going?
Oh, anyway, what's that TV show?
Come in your snatch.
No.
Big guy comes in your snatch.
Oh god.
.com.
I'll let you know later. Anyway, they are appreciative of us doing that tour, even though it was me.
Yeah, I was going to say, not me. I'm not part of Can You Taste
But
This?
he mentioned
Big Guy Snatch.
watching complain as well.
That's fucked up. That
Wanted
people
us to
into
do a
this.
review of something, which is great.
People, if you're listening, that's awesome. If you're watching, that's awesome. But there are better.
If you're
people
not, you fucking asshole.
there are better people to look at on the internet than me and Phil.
Well, they could play porn and then have us on the side.
I don't want anyone jacking off, like looking even.
How many times do you do double screen stuff?
Not while I'm jacking off.
Not for porn.
But I will say, while I'm jacking off, it's I know it's the same with a lot of other guys. It's so hard to find the right video. That's why there's all the jokes about it, on page 99 of Pornhub. I don't do the Pornhub thing. I have all my pornography because I know there's specific scenes that I like.
Pornhub.
You do Pornhub? No.
Yeah, I'm a randomer.
See, I can't do that.
I can't
gotta
choose a random, but I go searching.
I've got to have the exact one that I like, and I'll watch it and jack off to it 100 times. But then I'll get bored of it and be like, all right, now I got to go. And it'll take me like fucking months to find something else that's just what I want.
I wonder if that comes from the old school mentality of having a DVD or a
Maybe.
VHS.
Because that's when I was a kid, I was jacking off to my dad and stepdad's VHS, right? And then
I was worried where you were going with that one too.
I was jacking off my dad, and that's where you pause it. But no, then I discovered, like online porn site. But no, the Pornhub thing is great, but I don't use Pornhub because I need such fucking specific stuff.
I'm going to go into detail here, but the good thing with Pornhub is that when you see stars that you like or certain types of things that you like, they go into their algorithm, as well as you can subscribe and put it into a feed, so that you can go into that feed anytime you want and get just those stars that you enjoy watching. Not I hear.
I've been told. Yeah, a friend of mine and I were talking about how I hope that nobody ever steals my phone, because if they look at my TikTok and if they look at my, not that I use TikTok at all, but if they look at my not Instagram, sorry, Reddit.
I love TikTok.
Man alive, my Reddit looks like a rapist serial killer.
Star Wars.
A rapist
Star
Wars serial killer.
Star Wars Lego.
Not a lot of Star Wars. There's
3D
more Star Wars on
printing.
Instagram. 3D printing on Reddit, but mostly adult material on Reddit.
Adult 3D printing.
Yep, that's right. I'm gonna print my own fucking fleshlight.
I'm still waiting for mine.
It'd be great.
My
printer
the
doesn't
hard
go that
material.
They're making.
You really have to sand that.
They're making flexible filament that you can.
I
that
told
fucking
you about
moves.
that.
Oh,
I'm
that's
the
right. I'm
one-
sorry. Phil told me about it.
Jesus Christ. I
He
love
read
that.
about it on Pornhub.
How many times
I
does that happen to
guarantee
you?
if people make flexible filaments, the fucking first thing it's being used for is something to stick your dick into.
Someone made Crocs with it. That's the best thing they could think of. But like flexible filament, it sounds great. You can even do anything like you've already done, and it just be like flexible a bit.
I'm gonna make some and stick my dick in it, guaranteed.
I wonder how much the flexible filament costs.
Is it available now, or is it just
no,
coming
no.
out now? Let's try it.
It was doable. So go
Now
check
that
it
I've
out.
fixed my printer, for anybody else with 3D printer problems, don't hit me up. Instead, go to Reddit. subscribe to the same ones I go to
Pornhub.
because none of those helped. I had to figure it out on my
Go
own.
to the Kingston Reddit.
What was wrong with my what do you call it? 3D printer.
If you want a great Reddit to go to,
Kingston Creates.
watch and complain.
.com.
We only have 3 people there.
Me, you, Will, and Dale.
No, there was some other person.
Yeah, call into our show.
Anyway, so one of the things we're going to discuss on the show today, let's get this out of the way first. Spider-Man No Way Home. When we reviewed it, it was my review and you guys were asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen it at home?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you see it in the theaters?
Yes.
So you've done both.
Yep.
So we're in the same level. What are your thoughts?
It's a much better experience at home. I will say that. It looks a lot better.
Yeah, I agree.
I had the same feelings going into it in the theater, or should say coming out of it, in theater that I did at home. It's too long, for one. There's a lot in there that could be pulled out. Some of the
I think
jokes...
there was a lot that did get pulled out.
Yeah, probably. But I'm talking about like the whole ending where he goes and sees Mary Jane and Ned again. That part, cut it out. You don't need it. Because we've already gotten the big crux of they're not going to remember him. All you have to do is he hugs him, pulls away. It's like the end of that terrible movie Sphere.
So you wanted more of a cliffhanger.
Not even a cliffhanger.
That would
but
be
if
a cliffhanger.
No, it wouldn't.
Like
If they're
what is he going to do now?
You're going to forget me. They give each other a hug. He comes right. She's like, "Oh, who are you? Why are you helping me?" That's all I needed to know. I didn't need to go back to the fucking donut store.
Oh, you wanted it to happen right there.
Right there. That's what makes more sense, right?
That would be interesting, but he was wearing the Spider-Man stuff, so it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
You're Spider-Man. Who are you?
We'll cut this part out. What do you want?
I don't know. He just wants to get his new stuffing for tonight.
Jesus Christ. We're trying to record a professional podcast.
Keep it all in.
So.
I told him to be quiet.
So. But yeah, so
Rob's a horrible
father.
Oh God.
It was too long. Some parts could be cut out. One thing I did notice on a second viewing of it is Tom Holland's acting is actually pretty good. Not that I've ever thought he was a bad actor, but the part where he's really breaking down on the top of the school when the other two Spider-Men come in and they're talking, he's like, "I don't care, I'm done. I'm going to kill him, and then I'm done." I got real Robert Downey Jr. vibes from it because it was very, it was just good. It was just a good performance. Everybody else was fine. It was a bummer that Jamie Foxx and oh my goodness, Sandman. I can't remember the actor's real name.
I don't know.
That's what we usually have Will for. Yeah, I forgot his name, but
the stuff that no one cares about.
they were really just kind of relegated to being kind of comic background. It was the same problem I had with them in when I watched it originally. But I will say,
I thought we got more of Jamie Foxx than
absolutely
than I expected.
One thing that I was really impressed by that you could see in theaters, but it looked way better at home on 4K is the de-aging of Dr. Octopus and
do you think that's overdone these days in movies? Because it seems to be like every science fiction movie has Picard's using it now. A lot.
Fuck Picard. I'm not going to go on a tangent about Picard.
But I just mean like every
outside of
science fiction.
I love that season 4, I believe they're saying, of Discovery basically says forget the first 3 seasons. That's the type of show you want to watch, people. But no, what I like about it, it wasn't intrusive. It looked like it was. That really was how
it's
Alpha Molina,
a lot better.
Yeah, and Willem Dafoe look now. Because you think back to the movies like the Tron Legacy and that third X-Men movie that was forgettable and nobody wants to watch again. How bad
compare it to the Atom Project. There's a lot of de-aging in that one.
Was it?
When they played the dual role, the woman,
I want to call her Catherine Keener, but I'm not sure that's her name. But Sibian lady.
Yeah, Sibian lady. When you have a Sibian, you look a lot younger.
Man.
But it worked well, except you could see like a little bit of the not blur, but it's kind of like a fogginess.
Yeah, it's almost like they remember with Star Wars, the original Star Wars, they kind of rubbed Vaseline on the bottom of the lens to go underneath the land speeder. It's kind of like that. Like they smeared, they smeared the fucking Vaseline.
Perfect,
on
so
it.
we'll just like blur it a little or smear it a little, whatever.
Yeah, but that was one thing I noticed. That I was impressed by Tom Holland's acting, and it was even harder watching through it a second time. Was that terrible Venom post-credit sequence?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! They got to give up on Venom. Venom and Morbius, just stop.
No,
they're not gonna fucking happen.
They need to forget Sony Venom and make their own MCU Venom, which I think that's where they're going with it because he's not there with it. A little piece of Venom.
Yeah, true. Yep.
So if I can hope that it won't be the same Venom where it's like, hello.
It's
no one likes that.
Well, also, dude, the Morbius trailer.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
I don't know anyone that wants to see Morbius. It looks terrible, dude.
My wife is interested
Does she want to
just
Jared
because
Leto?
just because it's an MCU. It's not really MCU. It's Sony, Spider-Man universe. But she's interested, and I'm like, I don't know. It's like,
nope.
Think of it this way: Rob's not going to watch it in the theater, most likely.
Nope.
Therefore, we're going to have to wait to do that anyway. So I can wait for it, unless people come back and say, "Oh, it's like 8 out of 10 or more or better."
I'd be surprised
Then I would
if that happened because it just looks like dog shit.
I haven't been watching the trailers just in case it's good.
No, I watched the trailers and I'm like, I have no interest.
My whole thing now is watch the first trailer, stop.
Yeah,
I watched that first trailer and I was like, yeah. So, the Spider-Man universe is opening up. They want to do. We'll keep going on, and then we'll come back. They want to do more movies with the different Spider-Man. So they want Tobey's universe. They want Andrew Garfield's universe. They want to basically wrap up these characters or keep them going. What do we do with them?
Kill them.
I think Andrew Garfield one is an easy kill. Is anyone out there? You can comment. Anyone out there really, really want that Andrew Garfield Spider-Man? I want a Tobey. I think we want the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man to save what's her face.
Gwen Stacy.
Yeah. Or figure that out.
I honestly thought that in the movie, when you see those two guys pop up, I thought it would be a fitting thing to do to kill them. You know what I mean? Like, kill them or cure them of their Spider-Man-ness. You know what I mean? The same way they cured the bad guys. But I don't know. I guess, and I brought this up to you before. I'm starting to really suffer from superhero fatigue, where
I'm not, but
I don't care about the huge universe anymore. I loved
we're opposites.
The first 10 years. I thought that was so great, and for me, it ended with Endgame. That was the finish line.
I feel like we should have gotten a full not a full reset, but like a full restart to like, let's do all new characters. But they're doing like entangled characters.
Yeah.
And it's like, we've seen all these other things. We're done with that. Let's just go full new.
I hate how you're going to have to watch Spider-Man to understand Doctor Strange. And you had to have seen the other Spider-Mans to know who the bad guys are in Spider-Man Far From Home. Like, there's almost too much fucking homework that you've got to do for everyone.
But the only reason they're doing that is because they can bank on that.
They can. No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but for me, that's where my fatigue comes from. I'm like, I want to watch a one and done movie. That was my original reason for wanting to really be excited about the Obi-Wan series that's coming up. And then once I heard that Kathleen Kennedy said the reason it was a little bit delayed was Kathleen Kennedy said no to the original scripts because they were too bleak. Look at where Obi-Wan Kenobi is right now. He's been defeated. He lost his fucking best friend. He's got to watch the son of his best friend who turned to evil grow up but stay in the shadows. That's a fucking bleak story. That's what I want to see. I don't like the idea of Darth Vader coming back, but fine. Definitely better than Darth Maul coming back. But sorry, my point is, I wanted a one and done series. I love the idea of a one and done series, but of course, they're talking about season 2, and I'm like, God damn it! Like, just have it happen as one big one and done series, and that's it. Because we already know what happens to this character. A fun little
Do we?
Yeah.
Do we?
Yes, he died in episode 4. Came back as a ghost in 5, ghost in 6, ghost voice in 7.
But so in Star Wars, I'm talking to an expert here. So in Star Wars,
Which episode?
he gets hit with a lightsaber and he dies. Right? He dies.
He gets hit. He gets hit with a lightsaber. Who are you talking about?
Obi.
One Kenobi.
Yes.
Not Obi.
Darth Vader hits him with a lightsaber.
Yes, slashes through him, but
Okay.
he's already turned into a force.
But he hits his robe and it falls down. There is no Obi-Wan Kenobi there.
Yeah, he disappeared. He
So
became a
one
Force
could
ghost.
say maybe
Was
he
he
didn't
ever
die.
there the whole time? No one's ever really gone.
So is he in the Force? Is he
Yes.
was he there?
He became one with the Force.
I just feel like that whole scene was like, we're not sure we really want to kill him yet, so we're just gonna have him his tattered robes get hit by the lightsaber.
And you could see how excited Alec Guinness was to come back to the role. I tell you, there's some movies, like we're just talking about Mark Ruffalo, where you can totally tell the person does not want to be there. Holy shit, dude. Look at Alec Guinness in Return of the Jedi. That dude wants to be anywhere else but where he is right there. He is so fucking irritated just to even be there.
we were watching Star Wars movies for my son. He likes it. I don't. I'm sorry. I rewatch these and I find them so boring.
Oh, God.
I can't.
It's because they don't have the
sorry.
ADHD bullshit of 1,000 things happening on screen at one time.
We're also watching the what is it, the redone versions.
Oh, that like the versions on Disney Plus?
The ones that have like the extra CG
Yeah,
in
the
them.
fixed, the fixed
Special
versions.
feature, not features. They
Special
have like
editions, yeah.
They'll have like the animal crawling across the screen that wasn't there.
The animal crawling across the street. You know, the dog that got run over by the land
The
speeder.
chicken cross the road. But yeah,
Space buck, buck, buck.
where you can obviously see that this was added in,
Yep.
like that kind of stuff. And then I'm just watching for that. Really,
What does your son think of it?
he loves it.
See?
Yeah, I've been corroded with
If
all
you
this
wanted to have
Marvel
this
stuff.
Marvel shit.
Yeah. Anyway, what do you rate the movie?
What movie are we talking about? Star Wars?
Spider-Man.
10 out of 10.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, you know
The
what? It was
Spider-Man.
good. I enjoyed it. I'll give it a... And it was ambitious. I'll give it that. It was... Same as when you watch those Endgame and Infinity War. That was ambitious to take on all those... Even, you know, as much as Joss Whedon is a piece of shit, it was an ambitious thing to take on doing all of the Avengers in one movie together. So just for its ambition and for the...
Before you rate it,
Holy fuck! Ask me my goddamn rating then. Wait, before you do, let me tell you about my son and what he thought of Empire Strikes Back.
no, go on. Because I forgot what I was
Lost
going to say.
my train of thought. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I don't remember what I gave it. But you know what annoys me?
Wow, I'm glad I brought up my fucking rating then.
That's great.
Unreal. This is the most unprofessional production.
We're
I've
getting
ever been
used to
part
just
of.
doing it 2 people again.
There's so much room to fill.
We're also not used to doing an hour length of just us two.
You know what? That would totally be the name for the porno that you started. A room to fill. Then it's just it's either you being stuffed by a bunch of black dudes, or
Oh, boy.
it's you just jacking off in the corner in front of a mirror.
Or-
a room to fill.
Or my penis is so big it can fill a room.
There you go. It's like the end of Enemy when that spider takes up the side of the room.
You know
And
what?
you've never seen Enemy because you don't watch good films.
I roll my eyes so much to people who just watched the Spider-Man movie and were like, best movie of all time.
God.
And I can't. It's not.
Nope.
It's not. It's maybe an 8. Maybe.
It was a fine film. It was enjoyable.
Yeah, it was
I
fun.
enjoyed myself. It was fun. Yep. but it's not going to be a movie that I go back to watch again and again and again.
And way better in 4K at home.
Yeah, way better in fucking 4K at home.
Yeah, I wish we could just enjoy everything at home from now on.
In 4K.
But we have to wait, 45 days for most
Especially
things?
pornography.
45 days is a long time.
4K porn
I could
on
be
that
dead
big
in-
fucking 75-inch screen is a little off-putting sometimes.
Have you ever tried VR porn? Have we ever
I
discussed
haven't,
that?
no. I think we have probably discussed it because it always descends into some sort of
Porn.
adult lasciviousness. I don't think
VR
I could-
porn is another level.
I don't think I could dig on porn.
It's
VR,
weird.
VR porn.
It's weird because one, you're not used to it, but two, it's like you're in the room, like you like it's better. It's for like point of view porn, POVs, and so you're the dude or whatever you want to be, and this stuff's happening to you. It's not.
See, I'd
actually
want to look
happening.
down and see
But
like
you
this
can.
10-inch black dick, and I'd be like, awesome.
You could.
I mean, I
like,
already
what-
see a 10-inch white dick, so I just want to see what it looks like
I
in
already
black.
see a 10-inch black one.
I want to see what it looks like in black.
Anyway, it's very weird because you're just looking around and watching the scene like you're that person in it, and it's
I have
just
this girl sucking my dick, and I'm like, wow, look at the ceiling fan.
you could. But the thing with these things is they're like 180,
Okay.
so you couldn't look back and see the camera.
That would be fucked. Oh, man. I got to try some VR porn.
It's interesting. I had a VR unit. I returned it because it got messy.
Oh, God.
No. But I had to return it because
Did
the
you watch
eyes.
A Room to Fill?
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh, yeah. The eyes got all fucking fucked up. 'Cause
fogged
you were,
out.
you were going cross-eyed when you were coming.
Anyway, yeah, that was Spider-Man. We're gonna move on to the Guardians of Justice, which is on Netflix currently, and directed by ADHD Supreme Adi Shankar.
Shankar.
Yeah.
You know what? I will say.
which pulled an M. Night Shyamalan in this movie.
I will say about Adi Shankar, he has
Movie?
produced 2 movies that I did enjoy.
What's that?
He did Dread, and he's a producer of Dread, and he produced another one. Fuck, I forgot it. There's another one he
seen
did
that one.
that I enjoyed, but I really Dread is the one that I when I saw Adi Shankar, I'm like, I've heard that name before, and I had to go look at his IMDb profile. I'm like, oh shit, Dread. I love fucking Dread. I thought it was awesome, very very well done. Just a great science fiction movie, man. It was so good. If you haven't seen Dread, definitely
It's
see it.
worth seeing for sure. And I haven't seen it in 4K, so that would be interesting.
It's good. I've watched that movie. I've watched it a couple of times since, and it's just really
Dread
good.
is like what's that one where they're fighting in the tall apartment building?
Oh, The Raid.
The Raid. It's like The Raid with guns.
Yeah, well, The Raid has guns. I'd say it's The Raid, but English, because Raid's all in Korean.
Western gun
But I love
raid.
that Carl Urban understood that part of the cool part of Judge Dredd is he never takes his fucking mask off.
Yeah.
You know, when Stallone did it, you have to see how good looking Stallone is. So, of course, the mask comes off immediately. It's very violent. It's just really good. But enough about Dredd. Over to this Guardians of Justice show. So,
What's the premise?
there's basically it's the Justice League. The way I described it is it's the Justice League but with the dollar store characters. So you go to the dollar store
Knock off Justice.
and they can't have Superman, so they've got Marvelous Man. They can't have the Flash, so they've got Speed Person. You know what I mean? They've got all these knockoff characters, but
non-binary speed person.
it's non-binary Speed Person. I, there, them, am Speed.
They are fast.
You imagine if Speed goes flying by, man, they are fast. Now, are you referring to they in the quantitative or they in the pronoun?
Oh,
That could be the show. But so yeah,
that could be in the show, and we'd be like, "Yeah,
there's a guy named Marvelous Man who came down during World War III.
who is Superman?"
Who is Superman, and he stopped everybody from killing each other, and he stopped World War III by himself. And biomechanical Hitler was kind of funny.
Yeah.
So, but the premise is, Marvelous Man came down, saved everybody. He's been around for 40 years. Decided to shoot himself in the head. The other members of the Guardians of Justice decide, all right, we got to do the shit that Marvelous Man was doing. Nighthawk, or Hawk Knight, or Hawkman, or whatever the fuck he's called, the Batman. He decides, I'm going to investigate, and then...
Who was played by a wrestler, by the way.
Yeah, I read that.
Diamond Dallas Page.
You could also... I'll get into that when I'm reviewing.
Another wrestler in the movie.
There's two... That's right, there's two wrestlers in the show. But... So, basically, all I've gotten to so far, I've only watched 2 episodes. I don't know if I'll continue it. I might, but not for the reasons of enjoying the show, but I'll get to that in a second. So far, all we know is Marvelous Man shot himself. I predict that Marvelous Man is not going to shot himself. They're going to pull a Megamind, and he's actually alive the whole time.
They play it up as him being suicidal.
Yeah, being suicidal.
He doesn't want to deal with it anymore. He says like,
I'm tired of fucking
everything.
I hear the voices of everybody begging me for help, and when I close my eyes, I
can't help everyone. Yeah,
but so right out of the gate, as soon as Biomech Hitler showed up, I'm like, okay. This is going to go one of 2 ways, unfortunately. It's going to go, one, a kick-ass, fun, silly romp. I'm like, I am 100% on board for that. I love silly. I love over the top. This will be fun if it keeps in that vein. And maybe it will. Like I said, I've only watched 2 episodes, but unfortunately, there's too many times where it tries to be so self-referentially cool. Like, it tries to go like, oh my God, it's cool. The way I'm cool, and when I'm cool, I'm super cool.
I don't see that.
What only select.
What scream that? Do you have anything?
The cartoon stuff. When the cartoon stuff comes in, it's like, look at how cool we are. I'm cartoon.
I think that's more like in line with Adi Shankar's ADHD, where
could
he's just
be.
like, this is how I see the world, and it's just like, go into video game mode, go into cartoon mode, go into this mode.
It pull whenever it does it, I'm like, I get past this is stupid. But there's one scene, sometimes it's only a second and a half long, of every show so far. The first one, it was Bio Hitler. I'm like, I'm on board for that shit. That's great.
Which
and
was
the second
only
one,
a small,
but it's just like, okay, that's the vein I like. I'm gonna keep on watching it for the little hits of that.
Yeah.
The second one, it's like, Speed, we need you to go to Europe or wherever we're gonna go. There's a group of cyborg Tyrannosaurus Rexes, and then they show these Tyrannosaurus Rexes with fucking laser eyes. I'm like, I'm fucking down. That's great, dude. That's fucking fantastic.
Whenever it's like a throwaway part of the show, they just go like ape shit silly.
And I'm like, the silly, love it. And I have a feeling it's not going to stay that silly, but for those little injections where it comes in are fucking fun. The guy playing, the one thing that I thought was really funny was, right out of the gate, that Marvelous Man is not dead. I do like how.
Well, you don't know.
I have a sneaking suspicion he's not dead.
Okay.
Maybe I'm proven wrong, but
okay.
I feel okay. I feel like it's going to do the Megamind thing where he's been alive the whole time. He faked his death. That's what I meant by being alive the whole time. He didn't die when he pretended that he died.
Do you think it's just
faked his death?
Just him, or do you think it's someone made him do it?
Acted his demise.
He just wanted
falsified his end.
He did it to go on vacation for 2 weeks. I'm back.
Yeah, that'd be great.
In the black suit.
I'm back, baby. Also, you can tell this Adi Shankar is a fan of some silly, some silly 80s movies like Big Trouble in Little China is very obvious. So there's a bunch of movies you can see like, I know where that's from. So I'm enjoying it, but not because I think it's good. I'm enjoying it because it's kind of stupid, and that's what's keeping me on board with it.
If it's entertaining, then it's good.
Yep, that's right. It is entertainment. The editing is, and I think you hit the nail on the head when you said ADHD. The editing is complete lunacy.
Yeah.
There's maybe coherent story for about 4 seconds. All I effectively know is that Marvelous Man pretended to commit suicide. I don't think he committed suicide. Somebody set him up. And that's all I've been able to put together. With all the shit that's been going on, I think that's all I've been able to put together. But in all honesty, I don't even give a fuck what's actually going on. It's just the silly parts that I'm watching.
Yeah, it's just the in-between stuff. Like, the story just doesn't matter at this point.
Nope. And I do love, so the last thing I'll say about it is I do love that Speed and Awesome Man and Aqua Teen Hunger Force, whatever the water guy is, whenever they talk, they're like, oh my God, are we going to take care of this? What are we going to do? Okay, all right, well, then I'm going to go to this place, and they take off.
Except the second episode where they're just like...
But when they talk, they speak the way normal people will speak. Okay? Yeah. Now, when you listen to, what's his name? Nightcock. When you listen to Nighthawk, he perfectly enunciates every single thing that he says. Listen, Speed, you're going to be the one that's going to go to the European Costa Rica to make sure that you can take down all of the transfigurating nightmare deoxyribonucleic acid dinosaurs. He speaks so slowly and enunciates everything so perfectly. I want to see a battle with that guy in it. Holy shit, there's hellfire raining down from the sky. Nighthawk, what are we going to do? The first thing that we are going to have to do is make sure that we can oh, they're all dead. Like, that's what's going to fucking happen. And then they have Little Wing, who's fucking Robin. I'm like, and then they have Red Baron or whatever his name is, who's basically Nightwing.
Little Wing character kind of touched on that because he's like, I took him in because I was too late to save the rest of his school. And I'm like, yep.
Felt like you were talking the whole fucking time. But that part of it makes me laugh, and I'm not listening to anything that Nighthawk is saying, or Hawk, whatever the fuck his name is. I'm not listening to anything he's saying because I just love the way he enunciates everything so fucking perfectly. I have got to discover who was the one behind the murder of Marvelous Man.
I love the little touch of like the radio dude or the TV dude, the news guy, who was like completely the opposite of what we see now with what's his face.
Anderson Cooper?
No, it's the far right. No, far
Alex
far
Jones.
right. Alex Jones.
Yeah.
So he's playing Alex Jones, but on the far left.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my goodness.
He looks like, when I first saw him, I thought he was a really old Patrick Dempsey. The guy who was McLovin or Steam Armpits. Whatever his name was in Grey's Anatomy. He was the McLovin.
Dempsey.
Yeah. He looks like Patrick Dempsey. He reminds me of Patrick Dempsey, who was, what was the name? It was Lovin. They called him something.
McLovin. No, you were thinking of...
McLovin was from Superbad.
Yeah.
But whatever they call Patrick Dempsey in Grey's Anatomy. Dreamy. That's right. McDreamy. Or Mix...
And then McSteamy.
No, McSteamy's the other guy.
The guy with the beard.
Okay. And then there was
who ended up with the bigger
Dreamy
girl.
and McSteamy. Yeah.
Why do we know?
I don't know.
Even the littlest amount of Grey's Anatomy. I watched a couple seasons of it. It was good, but I stopped at the.
If they had a girl with huge jugs, I'd graze her anatomy. Graze her anatomy. Oh, hold on. Say it like Nightcock. Graze her anatomy.
They did. She was with Knightley.
Nightly.
She was there.
Nighthawk.
Anyway, back to the show. I agree with you in terms of
stop agreeing. Be more argumentative.
I hate this. No, this show is one of those shows where you're like, oh, that's really cool. I would love to watch this when I'm bored. Because like, I'd rather watch another show.
But it's also like it's ripping off the DC universe so blatantly that you're like,
on purpose. Yeah.
How did this get past DC?
Well, it's parody.
Yeah, but
so,
it's
satire.
It's kind of maybe satire is a better way to describe it, because
parody law says that you can do stuff like this.
The bad guy is Mr. Smiley. Like, really? Like, that one was like Nighthawk. Okay, I get it. Marvelous Man. It's a little on the nose. But Mr. Smiley, I'm like, holy shit, guys.
Kind of like Scary Movie.
Yeah. Scary movies, more parody. I call this a more kind of send up, more kind of a
Scary
satire.
movie. Yeah.
I don't like those Scream movies.
I don't either. You didn't watch the most recent one? No, I didn't either. I was just
no interest.
No interest. So out of we both watched 2 episodes. You said maybe you'll go back.
I think I will continue watching probably all the first season.
I don't know if I
just for the goofy part of it. But if it starts going too cartoon and man, we're so fucking awesome. Aren't we cool? We're so cool. If it starts doing that, then no.
It's
I'm
funny.
done.
He's doing like the storyline stuff that you wish you could see in a Justice League movie.
Yep.
But like, if you took away the ADHD stuff, if you took away the comedy and made it more serious, like the Batman, and you did this kind of storyline, it would be so interesting.
But what's fun is he's doing exactly the opposite of Zack Snyder, which, boys and girls, anything Zack Snyder does, do the complete opposite of. Granted, you might not be as successful, but that actually makes you a good filmmaker.
Don't put Vaseline on their muscles and film them.
But
do the opposite. Mud.
It feels like this is the opposite of Justice League. The opposite of Zack Snyder's Justice League. It wants to have fun. Yeah. It's fucking up a little way along the line, but I don't know. I understand comic books and comic book movies can have serious tones to them, and that's awesome when they do, but they don't need to be a dour. I don't need to be thinking I'm watching Schindler's List when I'm watching Justice League. It's that depressing.
This movie would get more attention if they had a bigger budget with better actors.
Yep.
I don't think
the
say
actors
that
are,
about anything. Really.
I don't think the actors are terrible.
No.
But the situation really doesn't call for them to be. That's where Peacemaker really won out. Like, Robert Patrick fucking owns that character of John Cena's dad. John Cena's Peacemaker, even. He's great. The black girl, I can't remember her name, starts with an M in the show. But she's wonderful. Like, all the actors in that show were so good. And they needed to be, because a lot of the stretches of that story were just dialogue scenes, right? With this one, it's like, oh my god, look, Marvelous. Okay, well, that scene's over. Oh, look, there's Night Hunter. Okay, well, that scene's over. Like, they don't need to be good actors. Kind of like this doesn't need to be a good podcast.
So, she's gonna give up on her. It's like, Phil, don't come over next week.
Just do it from your house. Just talk in front of the house and yell into a bullhorn.
We'll go back to Zoom. we might if that variant comes by. So Guardians of Justice, the 2 episodes that we watched, how would you rate them out of 10?
Out of 10?
Out of 10,
it's trying.
Special bullets that will kill, not Superman.
Marvelous Man. MM. Oh, shit.
Not Superman.
My favorite, so the one thing that made me laugh, and I'm sure it's going to go somewhere, but they passed it so quickly. I wonder if it was, like, do you want to say this? Do you want to say this? Yeah, say. When President Duke Nukem says, we know that Marvelous Man is dead, and it's sad for the entire world that Marvelous Man is dead. But you should know that I'm still your president, and we're going to fight for truth, justice, and the American way. We are not going to let people take over our country and go into World War III, and we are going to defeat the scourge of homosexual activity that's been happening across our city. As soon as he said that, I'm like, what the fuck was that? I get it's a joke. I know it's not going to be serious, but I just love how it was just dropped in.
Everything is satire.
That made me laugh. That was funny.
I enjoyed the credits of the first episode.
I didn't like that at all.
At first I was like, oh, this is kind of sucky.
This is taking too long.
But I kind of liked it as it went on, and then it continues into the second episode.
Oh, does it? Oh,
yeah, because they end up being in that
right.
first scene.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sure a lot of people would have missed that, but I was like, oh, okay, it's wrapping. Okay.
I love that there's the description of comedy where, what is comedy? It's funny, it's funny, it's not funny, it's not funny, it's not funny, it's funny again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I love, and that's
the
what I
fact
felt
that
like.
It keeps going on, and they're just, it sounds like improv the whole time. They're just like, oh, that guy's got hit really hard, and they're just,
I didn't like it, and then it pulls out, they're just fucking saying what I was like, this is kind of stupid. This is stupid. I'm like, this is stupid. And then when it gets to the end, you see him in the circle. I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny.
So I would rate it. Oh, geez.
I'm not going to give my rating
6.5
because
out of 10.
you didn't give your rating for Spider-Man, but I did.
I gave it a while ago, and I don't remember what it was. No, I did. I said
I don't fucking care. Just because you
God.
rated it on Can You Taste Adi Shankar's fireworkdrink.com. You better be recording, I swear to God.
We have 15 minutes left. I do want to mention that I watched Jackass Forever.
Okay.
It was I was smiling the whole time. I was enjoying myself. They did something new, and they are passing the torch. So they have a bunch of new people to do the same types of things, but ramped up. And it looks like they're going to go on, and maybe they'll get a TV show, and it'll be just these pass the torch people.
And you know, I'm. It's not for me, but I understand if people want to watch it, that's great. It's just I watched the first Jackass movie. I didn't get it.
Did you ever watch the TV show?
No, I never watched the TV show. I did watch that first movie, and I was like, I don't get it. Like, I get, and I'm not going to be such a fucking asshole that it's not funny.
He's just an old dude.
Yeah, just an old grumpy fuck. But it just for me, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's stupid. But okay, I don't need to watch this for another 20 minutes.
It's funny that you like. If I were to not know this information about you, I would have guessed you'd love it.
Really?
Yeah, because it's just you just sit there and you enjoy them being dumbasses.
And maybe this is a good indication. I think it's funny. Like every now and then when we get fast food or we're 20 minutes before it's time to go to bed, we'll turn on Fail Army and just watch Fail Army videos. Right?
That's exactly what this is.
Except with Jackass, and that's why I was like, oh look, that's funny, that happened. But then it goes on for like another 20 minutes where they're talking about it and filming different versions of it, and everybody's talking about it. I'm like, that's the part I don't care about. Let's see them fail. That's funny. And then done. And then cut to something else, fails, done. Cut to something else, fails, done. I like that.
But so you like a highlight reel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why this movie just, I get the people that love it. Awesome. Go ahead and love it. That's great. It's just not for me.
Is there any movies or TV shows that you've recently gotten into or are just currently watching in general?
I've been watching I finished it now, 2 series, they call them in England, called I'm Alan Partridge, that started in 1998 and then got picked up again in 2002. It's a very forgettable show with Steve Coogan, but it was very funny, made me laugh, and they picked it up again in 2013 for 2 seasons. I believe might be American seasons, the 2 seasons, or it might still be British. I watched those 2. They were fun. Nobody else in the family was watching except me. Probably nobody else has heard of it except me. I watched a movie that I didn't expect much from and was better than I thought it was going to be, which is Gerald's Game. That was on Netflix. I'd never seen it.
That's okay. Okay. So for those, okay, this might be a spoiler, but there's a
movie
called
Gerald's Game.
In this movie, there's a spin ending. What do you call it? Is there not like a special, a weird ending?
A twist ending.
Twist ending. That's it.
No.
I don't know why I can.
No,
I was doing
but
this.
I'm glad you
That's
brought
weird.
it up. To say,
Not
is there a
twist.
spin ending in the end?
Spin ending.
There is not.
I
But
thought there was like something that happened in the end.
it's
where
effectively
like,
the same thing as the book, where I haven't gone back to the book, but it's funny. This book, the 3 books that King wrote around this time, he wrote 3 which were all about women suffering: Dolores Claiborne, Rose Madder, and Gerald's Game. I cannot remember Rose Madder for the life of me, even though I had the big hardcover the day it came out. Dolores Claiborne and Gerald's Game, I've read them both twice, and I enjoy them.
Maybe I'm confused because isn't Gerald's Game the one where it's the person
She's chained to the bed. Yep.
Okay.
In the book, I could swear that the guy that keeps on coming into her house, and more specifically her room, and hiding in the corner, I could swear in the book they call him the Suitcase Man, and in the movie they call him the Moonlight Man. So I kept on calling him Suitcase Man, where it's like Moonlight Man.
Is this more of a horror movie?
It's not really. It's more drama thriller.
Okay.
The thing that I really liked about it, that my initial reasoning for, she cuts herself, and then as she's pulling herself out, the book talks about how she can feel her skin getting caught on the handcuffs and tearing off. So she's tearing off her skin. She's pulling her hand out. I was like, they'll never do that. This is going to suck. And just for that scene, because it's such a dramatic scene in the book, I was worried of how it would turn out. But holy shit, the gore, when she's ripping her hand up, fantastic. You can see the skin folding up and shit. Loved it.
He loves that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I was happy with that. Really good acting from Bruce Greenwood, and I always forget the lady's name who played his wife, Lucy. I can't remember. But yeah, it was all right. I watched Gerald's Game.
Out of 10?
Out of 10, I'd give it a 7. It was. I enjoyed myself. I wasn't turning it off, pausing it, leaving.
A lot of people liked it. So
Yeah.
I've
enjoyed
been
it.
interested, but I haven't watched it.
I also watched Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Oh, you mentioned something like that.
And
Which I was like, what the fuck?
it was a real rarity for me.
A movie?
We got to the end of the movie, and I still have no idea what happened in the
Okay.
movie. No idea what was going on. I don't know who the good guys were. I don't know who the bad guys were. At the end of it, it looks like Gary Oldman's in charge of something. I'm like, okay, was he in charge of it before? I don't know.
That one. I'm sorry.
A room to
Oh, fuck.
fill.com.
So Tinker Tailor Soldier
Spy.
Spy.
Out of 10, me personally, I give it like a 5 because I had no idea what was going on. Are you gonna be all right?
Nope.
Is it the KD coming back up on you?
It's probably yeah.
For anyone
It's better it comes
who
up
didn't
this way
watch
than the other way. You know what I'm saying?
our previous episode on Can You Taste This Shit.com, we
Can you
ate-
taste it.com?
KD lined with battery acid. What was the green one? Hulk ejaculate,
fluid, yeah.
and what was the last one?
Hulk
Hulk ejaculate and buffalo balls.
Buffalo balls.
Buffalo
sure.
piss.
Go to canyoutaste.com and watch us eat
Who's-
those craft dinner things.
Who's your buddy at the All-in-One or All-in
All-in-one convenience.
All-in-one convenience
on Bath Road.
on
in
Bath
Kingston.
Road in Kingston?
They're awesome.
You are awesome. I don't know who you are. I'm gonna go in there and just stand at the front
Until
and
someone
stare
notices
at you
you.
until you notice who I am.
Now you can do it without a mask, so they might notice you.
I went in and bought a little dwarf lobster for my fish tank.
Oh, I
And
thought Red Lobster.
yeah, Red Lobster.
were
I'm gonna
talking
I'm
about
gonna take it to them once he's fucking full grown. But I'm going. There's the one guy that works there, and I was like, "Hey, man." After when he's staring at me for a second, he's, "Oh, hey." He's like, "It's fucked." He goes, "I'm so used to the last 2 years, I've forgotten what people look like." So that was funny.
Maybe he was just looking at you like you're the one guy who didn't wear his mask that day.
Or he's looking at me. He's like, "Oh, this fucking guy."
If you're
again."
watching this from outside of Ontario, we can now.
no one watches. Who's gonna watch this from outside of Ontario?
I guarantee you there are.
No, there aren't.
We can now not wear masks in certain areas. So it's very weird for a lot of people because we're very used to hiding our faces, especially our reactions to things. Yeah, you wouldn't notice. You wouldn't notice if he was wearing. See, do that again. See, you can't. Yeah.
This isn't the first time I've had Phil's hand near my mouth when I'm going.
Oh, right. First time. Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
Before the end of the show,
Okay.
I want to mention something that you might really like. Severance
Oh yeah, with Adam Scott.
on Apple TV. Have you watched it?
No,
You
I've heard
should.
it's good though.
It's good. It's good. It's slow, but it's like The Office kind of like that. Almost that feel meets like this weird sci-fi-ish thing.
Weird.
It's not even sci-fi.
Is it as bad as that Upload show though on Amazon? That show sucks. That's the one where you die, you get uploaded to the cloud, and you've got to go talk to a therapist and do shit like in the afterlife. And the guy, he lives in an apartment building, and he can see all the people being uploaded and shit when he sits in. It was
think I saw
so
that.
boring. I watched the first, I think 2 or 3 episodes. I'm like, this sucks. I can't get into this.
This isn't boring. It's actually quite interesting, and you're wondering what the hell's going on. And then I watched.
Don't spoil it.
No, I won't. I watched episode 6, I think.
First, or did you watch the other ones?
No,
leading
I
up to it?
watched them up to 6, and I was like,
I bet.
I didn't see that there was any more. So when 6 ended, I'm like, that's a weird way to end the TV season.
So there's gonna be like a second season of it.
No, there's still 2 more episodes or 3 more episodes. It just hadn't updated the.
Have you
the
ever done that
information.
with a show before, where you watched to the end and you thought that was the last one?
I don't think so. I think this is the first actual time that I've done that, and I really thought that was the end. I was like,
We did
that's
that.
a weird way.
We did that with True Detective, the first season of True Detective, and the second last
That's a good
show
season. That's
ends
good.
with the guy, the big dude who lives in the house with that girl who's not quite right in the head, where he's cutting the lawn and he's cutting the lawn in a circle, and camera pulls out and it shows that he's cutting his lawn, and then you can see the house and everything. And I was like, oh, it'll be a great next episode. And I was convinced that was the last episode of the show, and I was like, well, like not. nothing happens. Nothing was resolved.
What is it? Second season?
And there was like 4 weeks, 5 weeks. I want to say like months went by. And then I was like, oh shit, there was the last one. And we watched it. We're like, oh, that's how this ended. So everyone was talking about how True Detective ended. And I was like, dude, this ending was fucking garbage. And then we found out there was actually another show that came after it.
I will say that the opposite of that is watching Star Trek. Which one is it? The not the Picard one, the other one.
Discovery.
Discovery. The end of the season, the final episode.
Which one?
This season.
I haven't watched.
It just ended. You expect a cliffhanger every time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It ended in a happy note, happy ever after.
Yeah.
But you would think they would do a cliffhanger for this. Oh, I want to see what happens. What?
I think
how does this
they
connect to
know.
the next season?
I don't know why anyone is suffering themselves to watch Star Trek
It's
Discovery.
fun.
It is not fucking
It's
fun.
good.
You know what's fun? Next Generation, Original Series, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, Enterprise not so much. All those are fun. They are fun Star Trek. These new ones are sluggish, depressing fucking bores.
No.
They are boring as... They're not boring. They are depressing and they suck. The only thing that was even remotely enjoyable was Pike in the first season. The first, or I think he shows up at the end. Yeah, no, he's in the middle of the first season. That was fun seeing Pike, but only because it was Pike and Rebecca Romaine when she showed up. Rebecca Romaine Stamos.
Pike's
I don't know.
coming back for that show, remember?
Yeah. Still.
I think the difference is that, let's say Star Trek: The Next Generation is very focused on that main scene or the main arc of that episode, right?
I think
Whereas these ones are like all over the place.
I think the difference is Original Series, TNG, and Voyager are the ones who are the most like this. They rely on intelligence to deal with a situation rather than violence. And the new shows, Discovery...
The typical Picard thing.
It's violence.
He actually... they actually work with that in Picard show.
Not in that fucking first season.
No, but they're like... They mention it, how like he played games with Q. And the one person's outlook on it is like, he did this for sport. He just had fun with it, and people's lives were at stake.
See,
and Picard did nothing.
I'd watch that
to help
because it'd be, hey Picard, do you want to play a game? Yes, Q. Let's play a game of chess. And you're like, oh great, here's the explosions. Okay, like I don't care. I want to see Picard challenged with something, and he can't use violence. So you got to use his fucking brain like he did in TNG. And I'm not even a big lover of TNG. My wives are the big lovers of TNG. And Leslie, Voyager. For me, it's original series. And what I like about the original series is they had to use their fucking brains. They didn't always want to resort to fucking violence.
Picard, go
Violence
watch it.
is wrong.
I enjoy them. They're like
Garbage.
You know what? They're like reality shows for an average person. It's just like, it's something fun to watch to like.
There's a reality right now because there's always wars going on in it. No. So that's war like we see right now.
I mean, like watching Big Brother. I like watching Big Brother or Survivor. It's just like, it's eye candy. It's just something to.
When there is eye candy on those shows, I'll watch them. When there's girls with humongous
7 of 9.
No, she doesn't have big knockers. You know who had some great knock? 7 of 9 does not. In the original TNG, there was Deanna Troi. Didn't like Miranda Sirtis, but man, when they would get her in her, especially when she was working out with Beverly Crusher, this has really devolved into a sexist podcast.
It does. But they're the ones that put them in leotards all the time.
Did you know if you watch the first season, the outfits that everybody is wearing is a big onesie? It would come on at the feet all the way up to the top, and it's connected right in the middle. And then when you watch the very first Star Trek movie, they're all in pajamas. In the very first Star Trek motion picture in 79, all in pajamas.
I just like the leotard outfits that they wear casually. Like Deanna Troi would always wear the purple one.
Deanna Troi.
How many people have killed some kids watching that?
Killed some kids? Jesus Christ.
That's a good way to end the podcast. Anything you want to say to after that?
Can you taste them kids? Can you taste them StarTrekKids.com?
Oh my goodness. Well, we're going to...
Can you taste it on your face? Can you taste it on your phaser.com?
Next week, Will's gonna be back.
We're gonna be gone. Goodbye. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.